We all saw how the last video ended with that GS400. There was a huge noise coming from the V8. Rest assured, the car arrived at the garage on a flatbed, not by road. I went to get it, and loading this type of car onto the flatbed was quite a moment. Now, we're going to try something before we know if the project is doable or not. I've been thinking, and I might have found a solution. After that video, a lot of you sent me messages and advised me to put a product, a treatment, in the engines. Assess situation before taking drastic steps like opening the engine block. Confirm I've read your messages and checked your most recommended products. I did some research online and I ended up choosing this product, X1R. I've heard a lot about it. I think there are even some fellow YouTubers who made videos about it, where they test it with machines, with ball bearings to test friction and everything. At first glance, it seems pretty crazy. I'm not used to using it, but I thought, with how many times it comes up in your messages, why not give it a try? Just so you know from the start, I know there are a lot of engine treatment products that are just bullshit. I'll never promote a product. If I haven't tested it or done some research, I honestly don't know what to expect. I have no idea if this will save my engine, and the noise makes me doubtful. Still, I did check out the brand. I won't post just anything on my blog because I care about it. I want to drive this GES, and I like that it's an American brand. It was founded in 1989, my birth year, in Daytona, United States, in the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing Paddocks. I have to admit, the story already got me a bit excited. After that, I'm an easy customer. As soon as it comes to National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing and all that, it's easy to convince me. From what I've seen, actually, it's a product that was created specifically to reduce engine wear and heat during National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing races. So, on one hand, I tell myself, if the guys use this in National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, it can't be that bad. So, it's a super lubricating treatment. I'll just read to you what's written on the back. It soaks in, hardens, and polishes metal surfaces. It reduces friction and wear. It lowers energy and fuel consumption. It increases available power. It extends lifespan. It protects during cold starts. It lowers operating temperature and noise. So, this is where it might interest us. And it doesn't affect seals or plastic materials. In itself, it seems pretty good. So, if I brought the car to the garage today, don't worry. It's not just to put an additive in it. I could have easily done that at home. It's because I'm also going to take the opportunity to do the timing on this big V8, which will actually be my first real timing job, because I had already done a timing job on the station wagon, a rushed project with the 1GFE, but I did the timing with the engine out, with the engine in the engine room. So obviously it wasn't really complicated. You just had to remove the covers in front, take off your timing belt, put it back on. Basically, nothing complicated there. This will be my first time doing a timing job, mostly by myself with the engine still in the car, including disconnecting the coolant lines, alternator, and more. So, we'll see how I manage. Well, I'm at the garage, because Tebow will be next to me to help out just in case. Exactly, and basically tell me the steps I need to follow to do this timing job. And that's not all. Indeed, for the more experienced eyes, you'll notice that the car is equipped with RWP coilovers. We'll come back to that a bit later in the video. For organizational reasons, it already has them, but we'll discuss that later in the video. And also, as you can see, it has lost its wheels, the totally ugly ones, in favor of the old 17-inch wheels from the breakback lay, which suit it well. Let's be honest, they look way better than those big Japan Racing tuning wheels. For me, with GS, it's simple. I like it when it's original, so I'm going to try to restore it as close to stock as possible. And now I think I've managed to get something pretty decent. This video was filmed over more than a month and a half. And I have to admit, in terms of organization, it was a bit complicated. So for now, we're staying focused on the engine part. Also, just a quick note. The night I discovered the engine noise, I changed the car's oil. Well, it was completely filthy. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen it in my story. So the oil doesn't really have many miles on it. The oil filter's new, so we're just gonna put the additive in directly without doing an oil change, because I've already done that. I want you to know I reached out to the brand to negotiate a small partnership, and they agreed, so what follows is a commercial collaboration. However, I negotiated the fact that if I wasn't happy with the product, if there was something negative I wanted to say about it, I could. That's the basic rule. With me, they sent me this for free, a second one, and other products from their brand. Normally, it gets diluted, basically. It mixes with the oil, up to 5% for 1 liter of oil. They told me you can go up to 6%. There won't be any problem. So I have 6 liters of oil. We're going to put 6%. So That's 360 milliliters. And the cool thing for you is that I strongly recommend you follow me on Instagram. Because, well, they're okay with it. And you know I like to do that. To organize a little contest so you can win some products from the brand, of course, completely free of charge. So go follow me on Instagram because I think there will be a little X1R contest soon. I'll use the funnel because I know I'll spill it otherwise. Wow, I don't know why. I always have to smell the products as if it's gonna tell me something. It smells like Japanese sauce for sushi, that salty sauce. Maybe that's what it is. So, okay, let's start with that. Oh, yeah, no, okay, I can go. Actually, so here I put 100, 200, 300. Damn, I almost put exactly what was needed. 100, 200, 300, and almost 60. We're good. What we're going to do is start the distribution. I'm sorry. That will force you to stay until the end of this sequence. At least long enough for everything, the product actually, to go properly through the engine and reach the oil pan. I don't want to start now since most of the product is still at the top of the engine. That wouldn't make sense. We'll distribute it first, then restart to see if I didn't break the engine and if the noise is still there. All right, I'll put it on the lift, drain the water, and start taking it apart a bit. Everything that has anything to do with the distribution, whether directly or indirectly.
Let's go. Subtitles by Jeremy Diaz. Let's go. Let's go.
Already, we're starting to see things a little more clearly. So I took out the radiator. There was also the transmission cooler in there. So I disconnected both transmission lines. Now we have a nice front view of the engine. For now, it's okay. There's nothing that worries me.
Subtitles by Jeremy Diaz. Subtitles by Jeremy Diaz.
Okay, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park. For someone who's just starting out, let's say, in distribution, it's doable. The problem now is that I have to make sure I remember where all the screws I took out go. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The timing belt is visible now. I'll wait for Tybo to remove it so I don't mess anything up. We need to replace 2 pulleys, the timing belt tensioner, and everything else. I'm replacing all the parts and reassembling everything, which we usually do off camera. Tybo asked me to set the timing belt, which I hadn't done yet, so I had to reinstall the damper pulley. Obviously, I didn't touch the belt. I just took everything apart. And then I called him, so now it's good. He had me set it to 0 point, here and here, on this and the same on the other side. For him, it's a joke. For me, I'm not confident. So now I'm taking off my damper again, and he told me now I can remove my belt. Nothing bad can happen to me anymore. Now, I just removed the timing belt tensioner, which is really oily. Reminder, there's a valve cover leak with oil all over the engine block. I'll have to come back to fix it, but at least I don't need to remove the front covers or deal with anything else there. Once the timing belt is ready, all work will be done on the left side, and the belt can be installed. Yeah, it's good. Everything's loosened. Oh, why isn't it lined up anymore? That's it. I'm afraid I messed something up. So, well, Thibaut went to return a car to a client. I don't know why. The moment I took off the timing belt tensioner, it shifted. So, I don't know if it's enough to just put it back on the mark that's behind there. I'll wait for Thibaut to get here. In the meantime, I took off the 2 rollers, and I'm going to remove the water pump. Not cool. Here, it's fine, it's still aligned. The little dot here's on the line, and down there, it seems aligned too. There's a mark on a mark, but over there it moved. I don't know why, I didn't understand. Well, it's okay. Compact. If it went back, you just had to put the pulley back in front. There it is. It's fine. Nothing changed. The next steps aren't complicated. We're moving on to reassembly. So I cleaned everything, the gasket surface at the water pump. I put on a new gasket with a bit of sealant. I'll skip the reassembly steps for you. I have to admit, I'm a little eager for this to be over. The Queen of Istria is cool, but it's really not my thing. Past 7 post-meridium, I didn't film the reassembly because it's the same as disassembly, just in reverse. Except, there was one difference. I had no idea where all the screws and even the covers were supposed to go. It was complicated. Honestly, this timing belt job taught me one thing. I don't like doing timing belts, and I'll leave that to the professionals. If I have to do another one tomorrow, I'll write everything down, every cover I remove and its location. I'll take lots of photos, since I was worried about replacing the covers incorrectly and realizing that, when you've put everything back together, you forgot to put in a part, and to put it in, you have to take everything apart again. That didn't happen. Also, if anyone doesn't understand why I'm saying this, remember being a mechanic isn't my job. I'm just doing it for fun. It's very educational. But I have to say that. And so, I'm happy to have done my first timing belt replacement on a V8 engine. We're in a good spot. I've reassembled everything. I just need to secure the alternator, reinstall the accessory belt and radiator, add water, and reconnect the transmission hoses, and then turn the key to see if the timing job was done right, and if the X1R, yeah, the differential's a bit lively, had time to flow well into the oil pan, hopefully mixing with the oil. All right, I'll get back to you when I'm at that point. Old transmission mount, so I just changed it. It really didn't look great. It was pretty saggy compared to the new one. I didn't want to film since it's not that interesting, but it's done. You might not see much, but the new transmission mount is in. I'll finish connecting the sensors underneath. I'm adding water, heating it, checking for leaks, and making sure everything's okay. Then I might go home. What time is it? 7:28 post-meridium. It'll feel good to get home. All right, we're going to do the first startup. We'll see if the product had time to settle into the oil, which I hope it did. Pray for me. I didn't break the engine, so that's good. Can we talk about it for 2 minutes now? The engine doesn't make any noise at all now. So I'm telling you, it wasn't from the timing system. It was definitely internal engine noise. Honestly, I admit I don't understand there's no more noise, okay? I'm impressed and really happy at the same time because first, it means I don't have to open the engine. And second, the product is amazing. Actually, I can't believe it. Well, listen, it's working again, so be careful. I see what you're thinking. Quick disclaimer. Sorry my voice sounds rough. I've been sick for 4 days and haven't gotten my voice back yet, but it will return. I want to warn you right away. The MCR from X1R is not a miracle product. If tomorrow you throw a rod, damage your rod bearings, or break a crankshaft, just putting this in your engine won't fix it. Be careful. I want to make that clear, since some lost souls visit my channel who might come across this and say, "Honey, it's fine. No need to change the timing belt anymore. I bought some MCR." No. I just think that regarding my car's problem, the cylinder ran dry for quite a while. And that it especially needed to be lubricated, even super lubricated. That really helped solve my problem. But it's not a miracle product that's going to remove all the engine noises from your car. I really want that to be clear, and just to wrap up the topic, I'll just show you as well. They don't just do that. They also sent several small things to try out. Lubricant, penetrating oil, all contact lubricant, fuel additive. So this will help reduce pollution, increase power, save fuel, it replaces lead, and it cleans and prevents injector wear. So this could be pretty good for the little series. Will it start again? They also make it for diesels, by the way. They gave me some, but since I don't have a diesel car, I gave it all to Thibaut so he could use it in his utility vehicles. And the last thing, also pretty cool, a tube of grease. And once again, what cracks me up is that this tube of grease, look at what's inside. It's purple grease. Now, just because it's purple doesn't mean it's better. Careful, but it's got a unique process, certified, used by National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It sounds weird to say that. It sounds like a sausage salesman. But today, actually, in 2026, you can't write that on a product if it's not true. Otherwise, you'll get busted. So, thanks again to X1R for giving me this whole range of products to try out. However, I must emphasize this isn't a miracle product. I just arrived at the garage and that's it. It's going to be the moment when I'll see if I made a good deal or a bad one. We're going to check the condition of the chassis for corrosion. I haven't really mentioned it, but on the front right, there's an awful noise. I feel like I'm going to lose the wheel at the slightest bump in the road, and we'll see if it's an oil leak or not. All right, let's put it on the lift. You know the drill. We start from the back and go all the way to the front to diagnose everything that's not working. All right, let's go. So first, the exhaust line, which was custom made. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, on the right, it goes up onto the bumper, and on the left, it's pretty well aligned. The exhaust tip looks great. Okay, well, that already says a lot. The bracket here is about to come off. Maybe that's also why it's touching at the top, so we'll redo it. Both mufflers are 5 SU. And now we're starting on a custom exhaust line. So I'm not going to criticize the welds because I wouldn't necessarily do any better, but I hope it wasn't a professional, at least, who did this. As for corrosion, what do we have? There's a little bit here. I'd say that's pretty typical for a Lexus, around the rear axle, but it's okay. It's not worse than usual. With just a little anti-rust treatment, it should be good as new. It's not perforated. There's nothing at all. So that's a pretty good sign. The body looks okay well. It's combined. There, it's leaking. Don't worry, that's normal. That's what we're changing today. I had put some WD-40 on it to lower the rear a bit, the exhaust line. So, yeah, it's done kind of weirdly. Why did they put 2 pipes here, facing each other like they're greeting? What else? Here, it looks slightly rubbed, but nothing major. What do we have? Yeah, that's not bad. Nut against nut. Okay, well, why not? As for corrosion, I was told it was rusty, but honestly, I don't see where the car is really clean. Don't forget it's got 600,000 on it. The car's left side is the same. Everything seems okay, honestly. It's in pretty good shape. Yeah, it's scraped a little under the chassis, but nothing serious. The exhaust line. Oh, there, yeah, okay. So here, we've got a small leak. We'll figure out how to fix that. Here, too, we've got a lambda sensor. Yeah, I think it's original, but I'm not sure. The gearbox, that's good timing anyway. I'm going to change the oil. So, the gearbox pan is completely wet. So, yeah, the gasket is totally shot, so we'll replace that. Yeah, it's leaking everywhere, even the front axle and everything. It's not surprising. I'll try to show you a bit more, but honestly, it's really not bad. Overall, there's really not much to report, except for the play here, which we'll try to diagnose. So, the new oil filter, of course, because I changed it when I did the oil change the other day. I'm not going to film it because you can really feel the mess from that. But overall, it's okay. I was checking the noise I was hearing on the front right, and I thought, hey, that's strange. It's happening there. Usually that's a sensitive spot. It makes that noise and everything. I just found it by myself. I've never seen that in my life. You see, the caliper, you told me, it's clapping.
So do you want me to say something? The good thing is, by deduction, there must have been a noise. So they put in a new ball joint, they put new lower ball joints because you see it's new. Yeah. While looking for the noise.
Oh man, that's terrifying. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And there you go, combined. D2 Racing. That's what was currently installed, so on this GS, I'm going to swap it out. Not because it's in bad condition, on the contrary, it was working really well. But I still think that for a Lexus, a car I love, it would be a shame not to put in my own coilovers. Racework Performance, of course. Except this time, we're going to use a very specific version of Racework Performance. And I'll show you that. At Racework Performance, we are very concerned about ecology and everything biological in life. And so, as a result, we developed a new range of coilovers, specifically to suit everything that's organic. And all the stuff you can now find in real life. I'm going to show you the best coilovers from Racework Performance. They're located at the center of the apricot trees. So it's an organic range that we developed specifically for that. Look, yeah, it's good, it's ripe, we can take it. And normally, if I put this on the Lexus, we should have an awesome chassis. More seriously, it's a sport coilover kit from Racework Performance. So, it has the white spring, because as you know on all my personal cars, I put white springs. It's my little personal touch when I make coilover kits for my own cars. No camber adjustment, obviously, on this kit, because on the Lexus, just like the Chaser and the IS camber adjustment, isn't done through the top mount. Unlike, for example, the E36 or others. And it's a sport kit on which I put a specific valving, which allows for a bit of versatility between sportiness and comfort. I'm driving this car daily, but if I take it to the mountains, the chassis will have minimal body roll. We sell these kits to 80% of our customers. We simply call it the Versatile Sport Comfort Kit. It's a kit that lets you drive your car every day comfortably and have minimal body roll. If tomorrow you decide to push a bit in the mountains, you can tighten your valving here, which will actually have a direct effect on the hydraulics of your suspension. We're not giving a technical presentation on the kit or suspension. We're here to install them and give this Lexus the second life it clearly needs. But it's still nice to look at. It's really pretty. Look at that. The finish and everything. Come on. I'm also going to show you something I sometimes hear on the internet, coming from people who unfortunately have a rather limited intelligence, to put it politely. Sometimes you might think that we're just a brand, that we actually buy other devices, repackage them, and put our stickers on them. Basically, almost doing drop shipping. I'm going to show you, for example, on some D2S, as you'll see, that there are still a few small differences. It's true that it's just impossible to make a threaded coilover that doesn't look like a threaded coilover. It's like if tomorrow you ask someone to make a vise and say, "Hey, but your vise in your store looks like the same vise I saw in another store." Yes, that's normal. It's a vise. A threaded coilover looks like another threaded coilover. But look, for example, at ours. For a personal reason, on this type of car, we flatten it, while on the D2, it's completely round. So, already, the first difference is the finish of the body. Look, for example, at the assembly of the D2 compared to mine. I won't tell you how we assemble ours, but you can clearly see there's a difference in design. And the two combined ones you see here are currently set at the same height. So, here at the bottom and at the top. Look at the adjustment range and the length of the spring, knowing that both are compressed in the same way. And so, I'll let you notice the difference in length, for example, of the shock absorber body, which is absolutely not the same as on the D2. Careful, I'm not saying that D2 is bad quality. Quite the opposite. I've used it for years on my cars. We'll also take a look at the top mount. We have an engraved metal knob that's not removable, whereas the D2 has an engraved plastic knob that is removable. And similarly, if we want to see the difference in the length of the thread left on the central nut, it's nothing like ours. You also can't do this with all brands of coilovers. But well, since it's 2026 now and you have to justify yourself on social media, when you're a business creator or you create something in life, that's how it is to satisfy the haters. Welcome to the cruel world of 2026, where now you have to justify yourself every time you create something. Because behind it, there's Jean-Edouard with greasy fingers, since he eats Monster Munch all day on his couch. Who said we're doing drop shipping and didn't invent anything? Jean-Edouard, just eat your Monster Munch. It's more useful to the planet. I'll give you a quick rundown. It's done. The car is on its 4 coilovers. Performance achieved. I took the opportunity, I didn't show it on video, but to do a little touch-up on the exhaust line. I had holes in the middle and back that leaked and annoyed me. Now, thanks to Thibaut teaching me to tack weld and use the machine, I can handle it myself. But I'm not showing you since it's not very interesting. I did some small welds to fill the holes in the exhaust line. Anyway, we'll come back to it. I'm going to remove the 2 rear mufflers. It's making way too much noise. Like I said, to actually put in slightly bigger mufflers to quiet down the sound. Because when you're driving at 0 speed, let me tell you, the drone it makes inside the cabin is really unbearable. But normally now, it should be fine. Today I'm converting the GS400 to ethanol. I couldn't have picked a better day to do this. I'm screwed. VRAM Capo 92, I forgot. converting a V8 UZ to ethanol on a GS 400, which also applies to a Sport Coupe 430, LS 430, and GS 430. So basically all the UZ 4-liter variable valve timing, I and 4.3-liter engines. The one UZ non-variable valve timing, I don't know. You'll likely need to ask the person I'll mention later in the video. Converting it to ethanol is pretty simple. There's a guy I've known for almost 10 years. I don't know him personally, I've never met him, but we've talked a lot on social media, who basically has had several cars. And he's the kind of guy, as soon as he gets a car, he digs deep into the subject to find out everything that's possible to do with that car, whether it's engine optimization, reliability improvements, or ethanol conversions. His username, sorry if I say it wrong, is StuffCC. And that guy helped me a lot back in the days of the S14 and its famous SR20. He had a UZ engine and thoroughly researched converting it to ethanol. And I saw in a Facebook group that he still had 8 modified injectors left, which would make the car compatible with ethanol. Based on his research, he checked the air-fuel ratio and did everything needed, so we don't have to worry. He came to the conclusion that changing the 8 injectors on this car with the ones I bought from him was simply the only modification needed to make the car compatible with the ethanol. No pump, no remapping, just injectors. The injectors are here, I haven't even opened them. So today we're going to change the injectors on the V8. So, sorry if I hope you'll be able to see enough in the video, because since it's at my place, I'm working in my garage and the lighting isn't great, I hope the camera settings will be enough. The famous ones. He told me he had this ring machine to make the injector compatible. I don't know what kind of injector it is, but it's worth buying from him since he knows what he's doing. New seals, everything's perfect. He even has extra seals. No, it's great. I buy from him without any hesitation. I admit it. The injectors are going to be located here, right here. First, we need to make some space before accessing the injectors. So I think I'm going to take the intake off again. And on this side, yeah, I need to make some room. All right, I'll make some space, and I'll get back to you when we can see the injectors a bit better. So now I've made a little more room. I've already removed the airbox, and I've also taken off a few small hoses on top. Normally, on this side, it should be pretty okay. There are some screws over there. No, actually not. I'm telling you nonsense, sorry. There's a screw way back there, so I need to remove that one in the back, the one holding the rail. Normally, after lifting it, I should raise it high enough. We'll remove this since it's holding the wiring harness, allowing access to the injectors. Honestly, I have to admit I don't understand the difference. Because if I go by the little black seal, they're a bit longer. The new ones, maybe that's what it is? Ah, okay, I get it now. There's something that stayed in the engine. I just saw it. It's not the same at all. And the two little things, the pig nose shaped part that's there, I can see it inside the block. Okay, it stayed inside. Oh, changing the injector, right? I went and drilled the little plastic piece with a wood screw so I could get it out because it was stuck. These injector changes are going to be fun. I managed to remove all 4 injectors. It's not easy, but it can be done. So now we're going to get 4 new ones. To avoid any issues, I'll do what I usually do and follow Teddy's advice, which he gave me back when I can't recall which car I was working on. We're actually going to lubricate the little O-rings here. And these ones with some grease I have left, for example. Grease like this, cylinder block grease. It does the job very well and we're going to lubricate them. But just a tiny bit. When I say tiny, it's like this. There you go, just a touch. Normally that's enough, and any excess, I just wipe it off with my finger. I don't know if you'll see much, but basically, just for the sake of it. In fact, when I go to insert them into the engine or the injection rail, well, so that they don't seize up and there's no resistance. There you go, once it's lubricated, what does it look like? And same for the one on top. I'll try not to get any inside, that would be stupid. It's really just lubricated, you see? There you go. So that actually we can insert it without forcing. All right, I'll do this on the others and put them in the engine. Left side, okay, everything is reassembled. It's in place now. The right side. No, but damn. But it pisses me off, the number of connectors that break in my hands. There. The new Injos are in place. I swear I'm not angry. Well, maybe just a little bit when removing the old ones, but the new ones, no. I put them in the engine first, and then I laid the injection rail over them. And since I greased everything fit together perfectly. I'm reinstalling the wiring, sensors, and screws, starting it up, then filling it with ethanol. We're still gonna start it, just to make sure it's running on 8 cylinders. Oh, the weather sucks. Well, I won't open the window, sorry. It's raining like crazy out there. Oh, I'm gonna pump twice now to get the fuel injection back into all the rails. Normally, we should be good now. Opa. Oh, for a couple of seconds I thought it wasn't running on 8 cylinders. No, it's not running on 8 cylinders right now. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Oh, the leak. What the hell is this mess? Wow, bastards. Wow, I have a massive gas leak on the last cylinder. Oh, damn. I'm disgusted, damn it. I just took everything apart again in a rush. I haven't even finished putting it back together. Actually, when I lowered the injection rail, not only did I damage the injector, but on top of that, I broke the little ring. I don't know if you can see it. Damn, you can't see anything. The little ring. Here. The orange plastic one. Right here. I don't know if it's a good or a bad idea, but anyway. I stacked 2 injector seals on top of each other. I'm not proud of my screw-up here, but, well, I just restarted it, and it's not leaking. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll get back in touch with my contact where I bought the injectors and... I don't know. I know he modified them. I want to know if he modified them internally or not. Or if I buy another Denso with the reference that's on it, and I stick the little computer numerical control part back on it, will that solve my problem? I'm disgusted all the time. It's like, at any moment it'll work all the time. But I can't drive like this. I can't drive knowing that I did something as disgusting and nasty as stacking gaskets to stop a leak, tweet, and tell myself that at any moment it could break again. If I ever drive 500 kilometers by car, even at the far end of France, that's what happens when you do your own mechanics. I apologize in advance for the poor quality of the car you must have. And yes, please don't mention it in the comments. I'm on high beams, that's normal. The low beams are adjusted all the way down. And the headlights are so dull that I can drive with my high beams on. Nobody flashes their lights at me, since even my high beams are very weak. I've been driving the car for about 15 minutes now, and so far there's no problem. I think if I had a leak, it probably would have told me. In the sense that I think I would have had a warning light on the engine, because right at startup, I actually did have a warning light on the engine. Because when I started it earlier to see if there was still a leak, I didn't have all the vacuum. The wiring was plugged in, so a warning light appeared on the engine, but I cleared it. The car's running fine now. I'm heading to the gas station to fill it up with its first tank of ethanol. Nothing exceptional, but in any case, I'm happy to finally be able to drive this car without worrying about the price of fuel. And again, in the comments, a lot of people are going to tell me yes. So why do you buy a V8 to drive every day, ethanol, all that stuff? I can't be bothered to justify myself to the golems, but just look at how enjoyable it is to drive this thing. The extreme comfort, I love the GS chassis, it's really amazing. I had half a tank, so obviously it's not representative. I paid 31 euros for half a tank, so a full tank will cost me about 60 bucks. All right, now it's time to enjoy. Let's go. Friends, we're meeting again a few days later to bring you some good news. The Lexus GS 400, with over 600,000 kilometers that you see in front of you, is officially finished. Quentin replied to one of my stories on Instagram, which I'm showing at the bottom of the screen, in case you haven't subscribed yet, who, and 1,000 thanks to him, kindly sent me 2 injectors for free with the correct Denso reference, like the ones I had installed, so I could replace the one I broke. So I don't know if he sent me 2 because he had 2 at home, or if it's because he maybe suspected I was going to mess up again and wanted to give me a second chance, well, actually a third chance. So, Quentin, thank you as well. If this car is finished today and runs on ethanol, it's partly thanks to you. There was another crucial operation that happened in the meantime, which I'll summarize for you. I did a gearbox oil change by dialysis. So, for those who don't know what that is, it actually requires the presence of a technician or a specific machine to do a 100% gearbox oil change. And it was a friend of mine, Florian, who came to do it for me, whom I thank 1,000 times because he came to JMT. And above all, allowing me to say that this car had a 100% gearbox oil change. I obviously took the opportunity to change the filter, to change the oil pan gasket. Everything was done by the book. Florian, thank you again 1,000 times for coming. So yes, there are still a few little things left to do, like restoring the headlights, but honestly, I'm not going to show you that in a video. There are enough headlight restoration videos on my channel because I've already done it. And that absolutely doesn't stop the car from running. So now, if I had to advise you whether or not to buy a car with 600,000 kilometers in general, I would say no. It wouldn't be a good idea because I can say I was still pretty lucky with this Rekasasu. Despite all the problems there were, and it's a Rekasasu, it really ages very well over time. It's designed to be ultra robust, and I don't think all brands can afford to be in this condition at 600,000 kilometers. But if it had been something other than a Rekasasu, even I wouldn't have bought it. It's really because I have a thing for Toyota and Rekasasu. By the way, speaking of that, 3 days ago, I bought another Toyota, and it's the one I'm in right now.